Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. Welcome to a special episode of Episode. Oh, man, off to a great start. I didn't even start drinking yet.
Hey, gotta leave that in.
It's in.
Because if that's not in, none of this makes sense.
None of it makes sense. So we're doing a very special episode where we have all of the Schlender 5 in one room.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something.
Right?
The smell is something. So we decided to get together. This was, I believe, Dylan's idea, if I recall correctly.
That's right.
And then you may see Hank in the background from time to time.
The Schlender 5 1/4.
And so we decided to get together to discuss some of our favorite Christmas movies. I figure what we'll do is we'll start, of course, with the parents, move to the brothers, and then I'll bring it home at the end.
I like the sound of that.
Okay.
So for those of you who are wondering what we're drinking, we spared no expense. We're drinking Whistle Pig 12 Year. We went to a Whistle Pig event the other day, and it was part of the tasting. And I said, how much is this thing? Well, too much. But it's worth it. So
I'm worth it.
arguable.
Cheers.
So
Cheers.
cheers.
Christmas.
I have to drive later, so I can't drink.
So do I.
Yeah, drive up.
It is so good.
We'll edit the timestamps, so the cops will never know.
So without further ado, I think we'll start with Mother.
Okay.
Good.
Well, thank you for putting this together, guys. This is super special to me. And I thought about what movie I wanted to. I know you probably expected me to say Krampus or something.
I did. I expected
I
Krampus.
had Krampus.
Yeah.
I actually went with Christmas in Connecticut.
Nice.
Now, yes.
A little on the nose, don't you think?
I thought it was going to be White Christmas.
No, Christmas in Connecticut.
Okay.
And there are a few reasons why. Number one, it's the only Christmas movie I've seen that has a shot of a submarine. Albeit from the wrong side of World War II, it was still a submarine and a Christmas movie.
Yeah, the wrong side.
Which leads us to one of the guys that was on the battleship that was attacked by the Japanese sub. He obviously gets injured and he's in the hospital recuperating. And this nurse keeps reading to him from this magazine, and he loves this one column. It's Diary of a Housewife. I mean, how hot on the nose is that for me? and so it's this article, this woman who lives this idyllic life in Connecticut on a farm. She makes everything from scratch, just a perfect life. Married with an 8-year-old baby. Well, the nurse wants...
Wait, 8-year-old baby?
I mean, 8-month-old.
8-year-old baby.
Sorry.
I know you're getting sentimental in your old age. 8-year-olds aren't babies.
I work in a public school. 8-year-olds are babies.
So the nurse, in order to try to win favor of the handsome veteran who's been wounded,
Chief Quartermaster.
Chief Quartermaster Jefferson Jones.
So did you outrank him, Dad?
Oh, well, he was a chief. He was good.
Dylan, he's also a fictional character, so
There was no such thing as a senior chief or a master chief.
Okay.
So I digress. Go ahead.
So the nurse writes to this columnist, the publisher, and says, this guy, he's a wounded veteran. He really needs, some motivation to settle down and start a family life. I think he should go visit Elizabeth Lane at her farm in Connecticut for Christmas.
All right.
And the publisher says, well, you nursed my granddaughter back to health, so yeah, let's make this happen for your friend. Problem being, there is no farm. There is no husband.
It's all made up.
It's all made up. But the publisher pushes, he doesn't know it's made up, and he's like, you've got to make this happen. A friend of hers who does own a farm in Connecticut, how convenient, steps forward and says, well, we'll use my farm, you just marry me, and we'll make it all work. And so, of course, they proceed to go to the farm, and it's 1945, so they're not just going to live together during the holiday season. They're actually going to get married.
Oh.
And, of course, one thing after another happens, and each marriage plan gets foiled. Our very handsome veteran comes into the picture, and there's comedy in it. And one of my favorites is actor. His last name is Greenstreet, Sidney Greenstreet, and he plays the publisher. And you would recognize him from the Maltese Falcon and Casablanca.
Okay.
And then the other character that is so endearing is the Uncle Felix, and he's played by S.Z. Sakal, who was also in Casablanca as the head waiter at Rick's Cafe.
Ah.
And of course, at the end, everything works out, and they're discovered the ruse because they have two different babies. Obviously, don't look anything alike. And so, of course, they fall in love and live happily ever after. But it's very sentimental to me because it has that quality of the set, like you would see in It's a Wonderful Life, and it's Christmas in Connecticut. But it was actually filmed in California on a set.
Now, around what year was it that it came out?
1945.
The movie itself was in 45.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were already doing World War II stuff.
And another...
Yeah, World War II is pretty famous for the fact that it's one of the only wars where they were actually making movies about it while it was happening.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
And Edith Head designed all of Barbara Stanwyck's outfits for the movie. So,
Yeah,
that was a little bonus in there. But so that's my recommendation. It's a feel-good movie. There's comedy, and you'll recognize some of the actors.
It's got all the holiday types. Lying, bamboozling.
Exactly. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, horse-drawn carriages.
Oh yes,
Now, hasn't this
absolutely.
been remade a couple times?
It has been.
probably,
I've not watched any of the remakes though, because the original is just when it starts. The opening credits are over what you would call like maybe old-fashioned storyboards or
Yeah.
So,
I gotcha.
Yeah, and
I know exactly what you mean when you say it. Like the hand-drawn things. Yep.
correct. Yeah,
I gotcha.
And so right away it makes me feel nostalgic, and I love that feeling. So I don't want to watch the new ones.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
That's a good reason.
Very good.
Yeah, Christmas in Connecticut nowadays, everyone would be broke.
There's no more farms.
Stay out of Hartford. Very nice. Awesome. All right, Dad, moving on to you. What is yours?
Mine has to be Santa Claus the movie, 1985. David Huddleston plays Santa Claus. He's like my favorite Santa Claus of all time. Though
For the younger kids out there, that's the Big Lebowski in the Big Lebowski. He's the old guy.
but it was in 1985, so David Huddleston plays Santa. It's also with Dudley Moore. He plays an elf named Patch.
Yep.
And then the villain is played by John Lithgow,
Yes.
who is the step uncle, one of the little girl character. And then they do have a street urchin named Joe. But the spectacle of it starts out old timey, where he's back in the olden days, and he delivers presents to the village, and he and his two trusted reindeer and Mrs. Claus get stuck in a snowstorm, and the elves, or what do they call themselves? The
Vandekamps.
The Vandekamps, yes.
Vandekamps. They come and save him, and he becomes Santa Claus. And then it's the whole Santa workshop to me is what's so cool. That's neat. The Santa Claus outfit that they give him is beyond great, and it can be a little cheesy, but the nice thing I like about it too, it's 1985. They come in, they fly into New York, and you still got the trade towers, the Twin Towers.
Yep.
So that kind of stuff. So very good movie. If you haven't seen it, they just had a 25th anniversary release of it, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
So by that you mean 15 years ago would have been the 25th
Yeah,
anniversary.
already. Yeah, I know.
14,
Think about
15
that.
years ago, yeah.
But
That's nuts.
it's good. It's a good movie. I know we've all
Incredible.
watched it
That's the
multiple
one with the
times.
flying, where he's flying out and the candy's pouring out
Yes,
of the thing.
yeah, that's
And
the
they
one.
have to do the super duper looper.
Super duper
Exactly.
That's like the weirdest foreshadowing. Oh, the reindeer can do anything except the super duper looper. Who brought that up, Santa? What does that even mean?
And they ended up doing it with two reindeer down. That's funny.
You know, I was amazed because we always watch this all the time in our house, because it was always your favorite. And, then when we're older, you go online and you look and like the reviews for it are so bad. And I'm like,
it is not well received.
I thought everyone loved this movie as much as we do. And
Nope.
John Lithgow's on record saying it might be the tackiest movie he ever made. But he says it's the movie he's best known for in England. for some reason.
It's the tackiest movie he's ever made. Didn't he do an entire movie with a Bigfoot costume?
He did.
Yeah, he did. Harry and the Hendersons.
So I don't know, Lithgow.
Yeah, no, that one is that one's a good one. You know it too, because you really get like the sense of like Santa's magic and everything too.
Yeah.
You know, and the
Yeah.
world, like you said, it's so bright and vibrant. You know, just like having rewatched it recently,
Nice.
I do think it holds up really well. And frankly, the reindeer practical puppetry, like that's kind of fun. You know?
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah,
I got
good.
to see it in the theater in 1985 on the big screen.
Wow.
Yeah,
awesome.
it was really, really cool. And you were
Where
at
was
sea.
I was
I?
at sea.
You, we were with your grandparents.
Where was I? In the car. Oh, it was the 80s, Derek.
It was
I left
the
you-
80s.
Left in the car seat.
You got a pack
I
of
left
smokes,
it
you'll be
running.
fine. Yeah, you'll
car
be
was
fine.
running. Car was running.
Windows
Don't worry
cracked in California, you'll be all right.
Yeah, so that was fun, and that was like one of the. And to be truth, that was one of our kind of holiday kickoff things as a family and all that. You
Yep.
know, 85.
Oh, I guess that
Chris-
tracks,
First
yeah.
Christmas
Yeah.
with Derek and all that stuff. So it's been with us a long time.
That's
and we
phenomenal.
enjoy it. There you go.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
Casey,
Bravo.
how about you?
I thought we were gonna go nowhere.
No, we're going with you because I know what Dylan's is, and I'm going to piggyback off Dylan's a little bit.
Oh, fair enough.
All right. So honestly, before everything had gotten revealed for like what we were actually gonna do with this, I thought we were gonna have like our top 3 ones. So my my first top choice is still the same, but I want to give honorable mention. I feel like I have to because it was such a heavy part of my childhood, and that's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
There you go.
That was a major part of growing up. I feel like I don't even need to speak to it because everyone should know what it is. If
Hot
you don't,
Topic is forever grateful.
Could you imagine if someone out there hasn't seen A Nightmare Before Christmas?
No,
though?
it's everywhere, man.
Yeah.
I would find
ubiquitous.
It is everywhere.
The only way I could see that being a possibility is if like someone's parents out there are like extremely hardcore and like maybe very religious and are just like,
Maybe.
no.
Big Ben's never seen it. He'll love the shout out. It's fine.
Maybe.
But yeah, so I have to give honorable mention to The Nightmare Before Christmas. But
That's fine.
Fair enough.
kind of out of left field, we're just gonna not do the other one. We're gonna go right to my recommendation.
Please do.
I don't think any of you would expect me to say this one. Love Actually. I feel like that's another one that if you know it, you know it. If you
Right.
don't, you should watch it. It's got everything you need. It's got the romance, it's got the comedy, it's got an A-list cast. Some of the best names and actors and actresses you could have for the time. But
In Britain.
in Britain.
In Britain.
That United Kingdom because Liam Neeson's there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
That's true.
That's true. I feel like it's such a classic movie to put on around this time, even though it only came out in 2003.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. It's just the writing is so well done, the acting is fantastic. But the other thing too that I really like what they did was you have all of these different stories taking place, and none of them get convoluted, none of them get messy. They get wrapped up with a nice, neat little package, so, a little bow on top.
Little bow on top.
And I mean, like, you even have moments where it's like you're seeing two completely different lifestyles happening where, you know, you have the prime minister and then you have this mother who's like going through this rough
Right.
moment with the husband and you don't know what the husband's doing and the husband's buying Christmas gifts for his,
I think there's been enough time.
attractive secretary.
Hey, he's pretty good for UK.
Yeah, pretty good for the UK, yeah.
She's got all her teeth aligned.
Yeah, that's true. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. But no, it's just like you have two totally different dynamics.
Right.
And then they actually end up coming together at the end on accident, and it's like, oh, they're actually family.
Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of that.
Yeah.
and
The
I-
movie's infamous for that.
Yeah,
And I
like
just thought it
everything's
was-
connected.
Everything's
Yeah,
connected.
it's nice.
The only thing I don't like about the movie is I really don't like the scene where the actor from The Walking Dead, whatever his name is,
Oh yeah.
where he walks up with the sign, he's like, say it's carolers. Like, you don't do that to your best friend's wife who just married him. That's
Also, you could fact check the Caroler. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, right?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, I want to see the characters. I
I don't know. It sounds like somebody's playing a boombox. Is
That
this just saying?
CD
storyline
skips.
is pretty messed up. And
That
then
was
you
really messed up.
compound it with Keira Knightley was 17 when they made
Yeah,
that.
17.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that was a little. That was a little.
She was
rough,
18
but-
in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
Oh,
she.
that's true.
Her career took off like a shot after
I'm
that.
not
one.
saying anything.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so Love Actually for me, it a lot of people you might just think instantly like romance. Oh no, but the comedy and the holiday theme of it is really, really strong.
Yes.
Definitely recommend it.
They just did a pitch meeting about it that will change the way you view the movie.
Did he do?
Oh, it
Love
is
Actually?
hilarious.
I'll have to watch it. That must be the newest one then.
I think it was like 2 weeks ago because Mom just recently we watched it.
yeah.
And
I'm
I-
usually up to date on
Yeah.
Pitch.
Yeah.
That guy's hilarious.
yeah, Ryan George is a singular talent for sure.
Very funny.
Very
Well,
funny.
actually, he's a double talent.
No,
He's a double threat.
he can sing, he can dance. He's a triple threat. Sing, dance, found a gun.
I like the concept too of how it starts. Like it's based off Heathrow, the gate at Heathrow Airport. If you think back to the beginning of the movie, that's where they start talking about all the different people
Yep.
and how much that plays a part in some of the storylines later on.
And that's where it ends.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's where it ends too.
It's pretty cool.
Nice. Well, now that Dylan is taking a sip, I will kick the ball to him.
Well, my recommendation actually it combines a little bit of what Dad said and a little bit of what Casey said because it's a Santa Claus movie that's a new modern classic. I would argue the only new modern classic because I don't like Elf as much as everyone. I don't get
I
it.
hate Elf.
I don't get it. Like I like
can't
it,
watch
right?
it.
But I don't get
I don't
why
like Will
everyone
Ferrell.
loves it
I'm
so
sorry,
much.
Internet. I don't like Will
Yeah,
Ferrell. He's just
Will
loud and obnoxious. He doesn't do anything. I like him when he's
Hey,
in
look,
dramatic roles.
Hugh Grant, though, from Love Actually wouldn't want us talking so negatively. That's what his whole opening monologue's about. So I'll get right into my
I'm not going to listen
recommendation.
to Hugh Grant.
No, very few people do.
Not even you.
And that's The Christmas Chronicles,
Yeah.
which is a Netflix original from, was it 2018? I should have looked
I think
it
it
up.
is 2018.
I think it's 2018.
maybe 2019.
With Kurt Russell as Santa Claus himself. And what you have is you have a family in Lowell, Massachusetts. The father dies.
He was a firefighter.
He was a firefighter. He died. Didn't die during 9/11. They don't go that sappy, thankfully.
No.
But he's dead, and so then
Those
you
kids
have
would be very old
the
if-
teenage son who's a bit rebellious, and then you have the younger daughter who wants to try to hold on to some of that Christmas family magic, and the overworked single mother who's a nurse, right?
Yep.
And then basically they find Santa's real. Santa enlists them to help save Christmas.
After
because-
they essentially ruin it.
Yeah, exactly. But then at the end of the movie, it's like Santa's like, oh, maybe it was my plan the whole time. And it's like, was it Santa? But Santa, you could have broken out of prison whenever you wanted. And when you say stuff like that, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
No, but what I like about it, and the reason I picked it, because there's so many other classic feature-length holiday movies we could talk about. Like, I am a little surprised Mom didn't pick White Christmas, and I almost feel like I should pick White
No, well,
Christmas.
it's up there.
But the reason Christmas Chronicle works so well is because it has that classic feel.
It does.
It is going to be timeless. Obviously there'll be a couple little dated things here and there, but nothing so off-putting as to take you out of the magic of the movie. So
agree
that's
with
why
you.
I really like it. And ultimately, it's about kind of like what Christmas is really about, from more of a secular point of view, I suppose, about being with family, being together. Like Santa talks about, like, if there was no Christmas, you go into the dark
You get into the
ages
dark ages.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's
so
pretty
it
cool.
does kind of remind you about how this time of year is really important to be with family, to be present, and to make sure you're remembering, too, the people who aren't with you, Like, the father is a very interesting static character who keeps
Yes, the
coming-
son is initially very resentful of the man.
exactly. But he begins to appreciate the
Right.
lessons he did learn from him and
Yep.
realize, like, my father was a good man. I can become a good man.
Absolutely.
And as people get older, and I've noticed this too. Christmas has a way of kind of getting bifurcated from like when you're a kid to when you're an adult. And I think what's interesting about the Christmas Chronicles is you see the teenage son. He's transitioning kind of into what Christmas means as an adult, as a mature
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Very much so.
But the sister still gets to hold on to some of that kid magic. So this movie has something for everyone. Like kids can really enjoy it, parents can really enjoy it, or even just old dudes who like watching Christmas movies by themselves can really enjoy something.
We actually did watch it at school this week.
Well, and here's the thing too. The kid actors are great.
They are.
Like, kid actors can have a way of ruining things if they're not good. And these kid actors are very good, and they feel like they're kids. They don't feel like they're kid actors.
Right.
You know, and then of course, like the elephant in the room is Kurt Russell as
He's
Santa.
phenomenal.
Just so
Absolutely phenomenal.
good. And he's very close to being too flippant. This is something you see with modern movies nowadays. Everyone has to be like sarcastic and witty. And he gets close to that, but never goes over the line.
No.
Which I really appreciate, because it'd be very easy for Kurt Russell to do that, because he's got that kind of swagger.
I like some of his smallest sides where it's like he'll ask someone for help
Yeah.
and they'll reject him. He'll just be like, I hope you're happy with Cole.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And
Just
just
don't tell Mrs. Claus about this when they crash the car.
and like just the way he like instinctively knows who everyone is, because he's
Yeah,
Santa.
'cause he's
You
Santa.
know, like I love those little touches.
Great
you know?
musical number in the prison.
Oh, I was just
Yeah,
gonna say
exactly.
that.
I'm
I
pretty
love
sure
that.
that's how they got him to do it. It's like, all right, you get one musical number, Kurt. And he's like, I'll take it. You know?
That was so much fun. And who was the actor from The Sopranos? He
Steven
was-
Van Zandt.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Yeah, actual.
And Lilyholm.
And he played in the Bruce Springsteen and the
Springsteen's
Street Band.
Yes,
Right,
he's
right,
in the Street
yes.
Band.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's just everything about that movie works. And like I said, it's going to be timeless. There's like all the messaging in it will like hold up. You know,
I wish they had just stayed with the first one because that
Oh, I
second
don't
one.
wanna talk about the second one. It
so much
depresses me
ill
so
will.
much.
So much ill will.
It depresses me so much because they had the formula they
Yeah.
needed to move into a good second one.
Because
when
you
they-
just set up Goldie Hawn as
Yeah,
Mrs.
they,
Claus.
that's like the
and
big
that's all
twist
you
at
need.
the end is
Yeah.
Goldie Hawn's Mrs. Claus at the end. I love that. And actually, it's the actor who plays the father is Kurt Russell's stepson.
Yes,
Yeah,
Oliver
you know,
Hudson.
So like, yeah, Oliver
Kate
Hudson,
Hudson's brother.
Kate Hudson's brother. And it was all a family
Yes.
affair, you
It
know.
is
So
pretty cool.
which also kind of fits with
Yeah.
the movie, you know. And it's just such a movie that makes you feel really good, you know. And that's what I really like.
Oh, it absolutely does.
ultimately.
As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, when you pitched this idea to me, or pitched the idea as if we weren't going to do it, what Dylan said, we should all get together as a family and discuss our favorite Christmas movies. I call Christmas Chronicles.
Yes.
And I just responded with very one long swear word.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna get my hands over that one real
Because that's
fast.
the one I wanted to talk about too. Because Dylan's right. Because it is just such a throwback to such a simple, wholesome movie. Lots of great character work.
Yes.
You gotta love Kurt Russell just goofing the whole time. The story for the kids is fantastic, especially for the teenage boy. They just really did everything right. An hour and 40-minute runtime
Yeah,
that
and it's
just
not
is paced.
too schmaltzy the way
No.
like the Hallmark movies
Right.
get, you know. So like I feel like it still has a good, like great production value. It's still very slick. It's very polished, you know, and it doesn't go into that campy
No, it's wonderful.
territory.
It's
You know,
just
like
fun.
you won't watch it ironically the way some people watch the Hallmark holiday movies. I watch it purely ironically. I don't Cross Country Christmas, come on, it's ridiculous. Biltmore Christmas, come on.
Oh, that
Christmas,
was
yeah,
worth
oh
watching.
my.
Yeah, well, that one's worth watching because Jonathan Frakes is in it. I
Right.
could sneak in all sorts of stealth recommendations. So.
Sounds like.
That's good.
So yeah, so I was gonna ape off Christmas Chronicles, but Dylan called dibs on it, and I was kind of struggling because I don't really watch Christmas movies in general. I mean, like we do like White Christmas once a year, but I like Christmas Chronicles. I'll watch every year because I love it. And so then I was like, man, what else is out there for Christmas movies? And as fate would have it, I was at work the other day, and they were gonna put on Elf, and I said absolutely not. And on the carousel, like 2 down, was Muppets Christmas Carol. And I was like, let's watch Muppet Christmas Carol. And we put that on. And I was like, this will be the one I recommend because it is sick. It is
good.
so
It's
awesome.
excellent.
It is
It's
not only a
excellent.
good version of A Christmas Carol because Michael Caine just kills it. You forget he's acting against puppets.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right, right.
Right?
Oh,
He's
no, you
acting
do.
against puppets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun for A Christmas Carol. It's just a really well done musical version of A Christmas Carol where Michael Caine gets to act across Kermit the Frog. Like, it's incredible. The amount of emotion that he conveys throughout that is fantastic. And again, I cannot stress enough, he's acting against puppets.
Right.
Like, so that's just all him.
You know, that's part of the magic about Muppets. You know, we were just talking about a Muppet Family Christmas Carol, Muppet Family Christmas on Reels of Justice. And the Muppets, you almost feel like you're watching actors. Like, you watch Kermit the same way you watch Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? It's like Kermit is playing this role, you know, so like
Right.
Kermit's
Yes,
the
Kermit's-
actor.
yeah.
You know, so it really is like Kermit as Bob Cratchit, which is just excellent. And then Mrs. Piggy as Mrs. Cratchit. I mean, so the movie's like perfectly cast for the Muppets.
Yes.
You know?
It is.
Yeah. And another quick shout out, our good friend Maynard Bangs. You do trailer tracks with him.
Rest in peace, Maynard.
Yeah, he always says that A Muppet Christmas Carol is the best feature-length Christmas movie. And I'm actually inclined to agree. As much as I love Christmas Chronicles, and I just wanted to give it some love, but if you told me I could only have one feature-length Christmas movie, I would pick The Muppet Christmas Carol.
I was really pleased with it. I have I had like a little bit of a negative thing for it. It's that they focus too much on Rizzo and Gonzo. There's too much like throwback to them in the scenes,
All
and
the
kind of
lamplighters.
it kind of disrupts a little bit of the narrative flow. So I found that to be just on the verge of being too much.
They needed a part for them guys. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that I thought was great, and this is not a negative, this is wonderful, because you just have Jacob Marley, but they use, was it Waldorf or Statler?
It's
Marley. So
Yes.
it is Jacob Marley and Robert Marley. That's right, Bob
Marley.
Marley.
Yes.
Like they knew what they were doing. Like that is it's hilarious, and that's one of the best songs in the movie.
Absolutely.
Oh, that might be my favorite actually in the movie. Yeah,
I like
That's
Scrooge's
so
introduction song quite a bit too, because it really sets everything up. It's like all the songs in it have purpose.
Oh, yeah,
Like, they
absolutely.
have purpose.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Howard Ashman would be very pleased because the songs introduce characters and progress plot. They're not just fluff.
It's a fresh way of telling a story that we
it's
all
phenomenal.
know. I mean, it's
absolutely love
just
it.
so enjoyable.
You know what I love
watching
too
it
is
this
that
morning.
Yeah, we watched it this morning. But then, how many different Christmas carols are there?
So many.
There's so many, and every one of them kind of does a good job.
with one huge exception, Scrooged. Terrible.
Scrooge, it's a different concept.
I did
never
not
finished
like
it.
Scrooge.
With
I've
Bill
never finished
Murray.
it.
It's painful.
Bill Murray.
It's painful.
Never
It's
finished
not
it.
Mary Lou
watching.
Retton at the end. Tiny Tim.
But yeah, phenomenal movie.
You know what I
Michael
love
Caine
too
kills
about
it.
going back to Marley and
So
Marley is when Scrooge says like there's more of gravy of grave of you. They're like, that's terrible. Leave the comedy to the bears. Like they're still dunking on Fonzie even though they're
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like, they
that
can't
was
help
really
themselves.
funny. There's more gravy than the grave about you.
Yeah, he's like, oh, leave the comedy for the bears, Ebenezer. Oh.
Yeah, no. Wonderful.
And then Fozzie I mean,
Fozzie Wig.
The whole-
I mean,
Fozzie
they knew what
Wig.
they were doing.
Fozzie Wig and Mrs. Fozzie
Oh God, it just all it all works.
You know,
Yeah.
it's the movie's so good. It makes me want to go back and watch that glorious period of time where the Muppets were just putting out bangers like Treasure Island. Like I want to watch Muppet Treasure Island again.
Oh yeah, no, the Muppets, they're
Muppet
pretty
Christmas Carol,
excellent.
man. Seen a lot of Christmas carols.
Yep.
Also, Christmas Carol was mentioned in one of my favorite movies this year, Madam Web. That's
Oh,
right.
jeez. How do we get back to that?
Everybody go see Madam Web. We're approaching the 1-year anniversary of this masterpiece. Get your friends, get a drink, watch Madam Web. There, I said it again.
You know what's funny? We almost went in chronological order until you came up with the Muppets.
Hey, we
Actually,
Yeah,
yeah,
kinda did,
very
right.
close.
Yeah. You're
But I
right.
think we
Very
saved the
close.
best for last, at least. No, I'm just surprised none of us said White Christmas. We watch White
well,
Christmas.
White
so much.
Christmas is
Staple. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like if you know
I
us,
know.
you know we love White Christmas.
It drags in the middle, though. As
You
we were
know.
talking about, the movie is fun, but it's overly long and it has incredibly bad pacing at times.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, and
That's why
Sam
you need the
Adams
White
stopped making
Christmas
White
with it.
And
Christmas.
Sam Adams stopped making White
Yeah,
Christmas, so we
and
could
that
do
was-
that.
What were we supposed to do?
I mean,
White Christmas,
White
White
Christmas,
Christmas.
White
You know, drink White Christmas.
Watch
Watch
White
White
Christmas.
Christmas on Christmas.
And if they had it this year, you could have had a White Christmas with White Christmas while watching White Christmas.
That
was
really,
the
really
deal.
would have meant a lot.
It would
Yeah.
have.
Well, I think, checking the runtime, we got this thing done in under a half hour. I think this is a
That's
good
pretty
time
good.
to call it. I mean, much less
Wow.
editing for me.
Oh, very nice.
Absolutely.
I got 3 more things.
So, Merry Christmas from the
Merry
Schlenders.
Christmas.
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Schlenders.
Merry
And
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New
2025, we're all gonna make it.
Casey died on the way to his home planet.
Excellent.